handle the situation, and we have calm now. People are doing their normal activities now.
Okay.
So on the overall, I'm okay.
Good. Before we go to your county, let me, start with you from Monrovia. You a new lawmaker, right? You're not new to, the capital Monrovia, but you're a new lawmaker from Grand Bassa County. How do you see the 53rd legislature? Is this something that what you're seeing there now, is it something you opted for? Are you enjoying it, the work you're doing for your people? I mean, on Capitol Hill.
Well, basically, there are two different scenarios where the thoughts that I've came with and the mindset that I had at the time is totally different from what I met on the ground.
Okay.
So if you were to ask me today, say, how do you feel about the legislative working? I would say, look, legislative why and the thoughts, the way that thought we will act to work in the interest of our people to a certain level, it's not what I'm seeing.
Why do you
on the other side, if you were to ask me and say, you met new people, the interaction, and it's a different country if I would take it to be a country. Where you have
you would take it to be a country?
Because,
but this is a country.
I mean, the legislature, I want to consider it as a country.
Oh, okay, a country
because,
of its own.
yeah, of your own, where you have people of diverse background, people of different thoughts, people of different characteristics, and you would think that everyone would be thinking the same direction, but on the other side, another person thinking. So someone would think, oh, the desk I'm sitting before, it has a yellow color. Somebody would say, no, it's not yellow. It's pink, Okay. And the fact that majority would say that the desk is pink, it becomes pink. Whether in actuality it's yellow, it's not yellow. So you're on your own. So if you think that everybody going to listen to your argument, and no matter even if your argument try to suffice or try to make sense, and you think you think you are actually making sense to the majority, you're making no sense, and they will vote the way they want to vote.
And the majority will always have their
way. So because of that, I've turned to be more visible back home and do more work for my people, interact with my people, and do a little bit of legislative work. So you see now and then, the zest that I enter the Capitol building with, the thoughts have totally broken down, and you see that.
So you no more have that zest?
No, I just go there to
what is
interact.
If I may ask you this question, give me one, your utmost disappointment.
Well, one of the issues I would say to you, and I must be categorically clear. Initially, it was the way we handle legislative instruments.
Okay.
Many times, because if I were to list all TETEE, would not leave for you now.
No, I just want to
know. So, for instance, there is a scenario of a concession that we're supposed to be bringing back, right? Okay. I think an example would be, let me take two different things. So you look at Presta. Let me look at the Presta port, right? That came before us. We as sons and legislators of BASSA, we wanted it to be passed because our thought was, we wanted BASSA to have, for us to increase jobs, ensure that our people start working, and we were trying to attract investors. But on the contrary, that was not the case. Today is still in committee room and lingering, and the BASSA people continue to look up to us. They're looking up to the government.
Any idea when that is going to pass?
I spoke to the committee chairman in recent time on Clarence Kotu Momonu Massacre, and he was emphatic that soon and very soon it will leave from the committee room. We're hoping for the best. Many times, such instruments stay in committee room until the 6-year ends.
It depends on your ability to push.
It's not just depend on my ability to push. It depends on what the executive is thinking about. Okay. Because normally concession, we are just passing it. The executive automatically will become the implementer of that concession.
Obviously, but it's in your county. And it has to do with your people. So you're the ones who have to agree to what is going to happen in your county. But
here is the catch-22. Many a time people blame legislator on other issues which exist. But let me be frank with you. There are times the legislator will think that this is okay and they will pass it. If the executive thing is not okay, the executive going to veto.
Yeah, then the veto.
And, you know,
but
when it comes back, coming back now, TETEE, when it comes back, we have the power to override. So that's when party politics, that when interests come to play. So it's a different. That's why I'm saying the legislature is a different country. Today you will act, the next day the wave may blow and the situation will change. So that's why I'm saying anything we do in the legislature, you have to also look what the executive is thinking about. Trust me, if you would think that the legislature will work on its own and just wake up one morning and say, oh, TETEE is a white woman, and you think that it will be work, you joking. Once the executive feels that TETEE is a black lady, trust me, it will become.
You have the opportunity or the ability.
You start to rumble. I come in.
The executive.
So no, as an individual, it's difficult for me
to. I'm talking about the legislature.
So the legislature work through its leadership, its committee. Everyone will not go and meet the executive. Trust me, everyone will not go and meet the executive.
But you can convince your colleagues that this is
You think it is just simple as you think. It is not.
It should be.
It is not. So that is different ballgame. That's what I'm saying. The legislature is a different game that you think that, oh yeah, tomorrow morning I'm going there to change everything and think everything will be okay. No, I'm not. Sometimes I just feel weak. I don't get disappointed because when you get disappointed, it means you have been defeated. So I don't get disappointed. What I do, the latches that I receive through argument, it brings some setback for me, but I always fight to make a comeback. So yes, over the period of time, the 3 years and a half.
Opportunity, will you do it again?
Yes. Every time I have the opportunity, I create another debate.
Okay.
Trust me, try to convince Coley. Coley's trying to convince you. But it's a good place to be, to admit on it overall. Because you see...
What makes it good? What makes it a good place to be? Some people are lawmakers, and sorry to hold you there, and all they do is complain that, I am a representative, but I have no rest.
No, but if you think you went to the legislature to enrich yourself, if you think you went to the legislature, it's not a hustle ground. The legislature, trust me, I've told people, it's not a hustle ground. It's not a place that you think you're going to enrich yourself. You fool yourself. For us, because our background, we love the intellectualism, the interactive standing, the debate. So I enjoy myself. Whether people come to my hall in the morning, my district, if you don't know how to put it, my district should be one of the biggest districts in Liberia, not just in BASSA. We statutory district has 3 administrative districts, big district. It's not just a small sorry to say I used to vote my late colleague Namweslo. I say you get 7 statutory districts when my 1 statutory district population or the length is over your statutory district, and we used to be laughing. So it is not just as you think. It's one of the biggest in Liberia. Okay. BASSA, it is the biggest. It has 3 administrative districts, and the population has grown to the extent you think almost to Buchanan City. So in the morning I wake up, I have a lot of activities to do, people at the house. But the way you speak to your people, the way you interact with your people, the way you present your case, it makes it different. For me, the way I work with my people, if you say you want per hour, I say, okay, go and get the steak, go and do that. I will provide the zinc, the cement, and the nail. And I've been working with them. So I don't have stress, trust me. As you can see, for me to be stressful, maybe it's for different things. But to say it is the tension for my people, no. Okay. I'm always relaxed because I did not go to the legislature with a mindset that I'm going to make money. What I went to the legislature to do was to debate for my people, make law for my people. So sometimes when I feel a little bit weak, it means when my debate is being defeated on the floor, then I get a little bit weaker. Then I make another comeback. But it's not with the issue of complaining about people coming to your house. Sometimes, we say those things out of frustration. Most lawmakers say out of frustration because Liberians will say, oh, why did men take the money? Another debate came out, oh, they took 15,000, 30,000.
We'll come to that 30,000.
I come in now. So for me, I can tell you for sure, when we reach to that, I will tell you, say, we even 100,000. Okay. And I will tell you the reason.
And then you will convince me.
I will convince you. So for me, I can say to you clearly that I'm not stressed up. And the work I'm doing, I enjoy. I enjoy the debate. I met new colleagues. I met new people that I wouldn't have seen if I stay in a professional job I was doing. It was just a professional job and sitting there and just interacting with the same group of people.
Anyway, so the legislature exposes you a lot to a certain
extent. To a certain extent.
And like you say, if you are an intellectual, you want to find yourself in such a place.
Yeah.
But you went to the legislature to according to you, make laws and debate the issues. And I'm sure that it's only to make sure that your people get better lives, or their lives are better, or their living standard is better. 4 years down now, what can you boast of as a lawmaker in terms of touching the lives of your people?
Oh, several things I can boast of. Several things. And let me tell it to you. One of it is that it's not a function of the legislature, it's welfare, which I'm doing, and development. Our 3 cardinal functions, we no more doing it. I've built several roads, several bridges. 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, there were nowhere. People used to leave from somewhere they call St. John. My district's border with Nima, Bon, and Riverset. So from the border of Bon to hit the border of Nima, people used to drive 10, 12 hours to reach. But now, if you were to go there, you would drive less than 2-3 hours at the Nima border.
Why?
I share border with Honorable Gweglo. He and I were there the other day.
What
because
did you do there?
The bridges we built, I spent over 150 some more thousand to carry yellow machine there and build all of the bridges along the road. You can go now, TETEE using that road. There have been towns and villages that car never enter in my district. Today you can drive there with car.
Can you come a little closer to the mic?
There are towns and villages in my district that car had never entered since 1847 or since God made the earth. Today, I've made car to enter those towns and villages. Some of which you can talk about Vaux. You can talk about somewhere when you go on the Raleigh Road, they call a Jokebos Town. A town called Jokebos Town on the Raleigh Road. The Raleigh Road, no one was using that road for 20 years. We rebuilt it. Today, some of the bridges are broken down. I have to go back there. I just wrote the AFL to help me to do some measurements so we can take the Bailey Bridge. I built 2 Bailey bridges. They responded to me. They are sending me some estimate that I'm supposed to work on for them to go there to do the assessment. Right?
Okay.
So
besides
these are
roads,
things.
what else?
And in school today, you talk about adult literacy program that I promised to do. Today, we have a free of charge. Last year, I sent up to 24 women, elderly women, that never thought they were going back to school. They took the non-read exam, and all of them passed the wax. This year, next year, we'll be taking more. If you go to my school now, we have over 500 students.
Is it
they are not paying fees.
Adult literacy school you're talking about?
Yeah.
What are they learning there?
Academic activity. The normal schooling activity. Next year, we're including vocational activities. We include tailoring, soap making, and different things.
How many persons benefit from it?
Currently, I'm saying to you, the school has over 500 students. It's right on the silver compound. It's
so
not,
they don't pay anything?
They don't pay anything besides probably their own fee, t-shirt, and they pay to the people. I pay the teachers from my pocket every month. Every month I have to pay almost 100,000. That's what I'm saying. In the legislature, you don't get everything from the legislature. For us, we have made good friends, OSA. Most of the things that I do, I have to talk to people from OSA. I talk to colleagues, talk to friends. Some colleagues that I met in other parliaments, speak to them, and they help me talk to other friends in Liberia. So
we're told that you at the legislature make more money than others in other parliaments. So
that's not true. If I were to name to you today, you see in Liberia legislature is the only flunky, let me say for instance, it's the only FCC legislature that I've ever seen in my life.
What do you mean?
Because in other legislature, on other jurisdiction, you have a budget. Even committee. Where I was in Namibia the other day, the lady who chaired the same committee, just check on, you're on the internet now, check on the Namibian Mines and Energy Committee. It has a website with a committee budget. Imagine I went and only the committee were taking care of me. Let my colleague fly in Liberia now when I can take care of her. We don't even have a committee budget. In the legislature, I come in the legislature, I come in, people will start doing one. In the legislature, only 3% has a budget. The speaker, the pro tem, and the deputy speaker.
Why do you need a budget?
Because you have a lot of things to do.
What?
You don't. Okay, for instance, if TETEE comes to visit me in minister office, in the offices they have entertainment budget on the ministry. If you were to go and visit a minister today, he has a budget where he can entertain you, right? He have a petty cash. All of these things, no legislature have it. Any money that comes from the legislature is your salary.
Your salary is enough to entertain anyone.
How much is the salary? Do you know how much legislature? There are people are coming now, TETEE. I work in other corporate entity. I work with the executive before coming. The legislature, your salary is just a little change over 5,000. I think 5,700. There are ministers in this government that they earn. There are agency here that they earn over 5,000. There are agency heads.
They're heads of agencies.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so you are head of a district. With a population, when you are laid between two deputy ministers, I will not call their name. Nobody go visit them.
Because they're not lawmakers.
Okay, so you see the breading. So you see the breadings we carry around.
This is what you guys have created. That if you are
no, it's what we met. It's what we met.
You inherited, and is what you're condoning. So we go with the flow.
So today, because they say you inherited it, so you should find no remedy for error.
And you're not finding any remedy. You're going with the flow. Because that's
no,
what you inherited.
For every time we find a remedy, we receive latches from you people who are the journalists.
The thing, no, not the journalists.
Not the journalists.
No,
I come in now.
How do you? How
the reason is some of the things you just raising.
What?
Right? There is no jurisdiction. And I say to you, check around. You're a journalist. You go here in a business. Check around. No parliament you go to that you don't have, that the legislator don't have a budget. Individual legislator, even committee don't have a budget.
So maybe they don't make as much money as you make.
TETEE, what you call making, right? I come in, for instance, earning is not the exact salary alone. You have in the legislature, we are the only group of legislators don't have insurance. Today, if I fall down and die free, at the end of the day, they give my people 5,000, 10,000. That's the end.
At least no,
okay, but in other jurisdictions, even as small as other countries that are around us here, they do the same. They have insurance. When I used to work for the executive, my wife, my children, everything was insured. I had insurance. My children, they used to give my fees for my children. Quarterly, they used to give fees to all. Pay my children fees. Quarterly, give me small little part down. Housing, they used to. There are entities in the executive that receive housing benefit.
Yeah, but that was
no, I come in now.
Yeah, no.
So you receive all the one there, but you say the legislature should not receive it. Right?
Who stopped you from receiving
Whenever we do it, we receive latches from you.
Oh, so that's why you don't.
You see, whenever we do it, we've been blackmailed. We look at boogeyman. You give somebody 15, 30,000 prorated in 1 year. Every time I enter my district, I spend not less than 2,000 US. Every time, because I had to get zinc. Look,
that is what the people are accustomed to, and you've already said to them.
So then you adjust us. So you help us, because even the executive will not go. Before I got elected, I can't remember how many legislative projects are in my district. I think only 2. They are all unfinished.
What you're doing in your district is what all other lawmakers are doing.
I can't speak for them.
So
you don't judge me. What you need to do is accountability. And that is what I'm saying. What the legislature needs is accountability. You should push up as journalists. Say, you be accountable for every penny you receive. But
that's
you can't.
We ask you
no, you say we should not.
The people say one apple spoils all.
So when one apple spoils all. That philosophy does not work in leadership.
You just said to me that you don't know what others are doing in the district.
Yeah.
And put it straight, there are some lawmakers who are working in the district, and there are some who are doing nothing.
So they will be defeated.
So these people who are not working, if they're in the majority, then
no, they are not in the majority.
How do you determine
Let me tell you,
that?
only a lawmaker who does not want to return to the legislature will think not to do anything for the people.
Do you know
even the money,
of them who want to return?
Many, almost everybody want to serve that people.
I want to return because they want to get
but your action will speak, right? But I can say to you, majority of the legislature currently, I'm not talking about the 53, the 54. I can speak to you clearly because I have visited many of them districts. Many of my colleague districts have been there, and I see how they're working. I see how they're screening them.
But whether the people see that, that's another thing.
Oh, let me tell you. Any
so
jobs.
If somebody stays at the legislature in the 4th year before the building one, they're helping to construct or reconstruct a road.
Any jobs
that they're working.
Any jobs that surrounding people decision, and it's not individual decision, it is difficult to maintain. Any job that people will have to take a decision. For instance, a minister works for only the president. He or she has to only look at the president. And to say in a lay liberal man way, worship the president.
No, not worship the president.
Now what I'm saying in a lay, that what I'm saying now in a layman way.
Incumbent upon you to do your job.
So the law
says
you work at the will and pleasure of the president.
Yeah.
So technically somebody
you don't have to worship.
So somebody will say, I'm only dealing with only the president. My job.
You can be dealing with the president,
no,
but then the work that the president asks you to do, if you're not doing it properly, then it's a disservice.
So it left with the president to change you. But no one, majority of people cannot influence him to change you. Because if the president does not want to change you, you can talk 50 times, 500 times. You still enjoy the president confidence. You enjoy it.
That's
For
what
us,
makes him the president.
So it's different at TETEE. So our own is different. Our own, you have to always please the majority.
Yeah, you should do that because
so you see,
ask the majority.
So it's different. So you see how it's different. Even all that the president is currently doing, people still feel he's not doing anything.
I agree with you.
So you see, so it's a two-side game. Other people think, oh, say, other people in your district, TETEE, they will hate you just by your name, TETEE.
I know.
No matter what you do, they just hate you. Other things is on party issues. There are some county that is traditionally party oriented. They fight that, like my county, but we defeated that argument long time. So yeah, we defeated that argument long time. Let me tell you, I came from the Liberty Party, right? In 2005.
Have you officially joined the CDC?
I have not joined any political party.
But you support the CDC?
I support the president re-election.
Oh, you support the re-election of President
but I've joined no political party. I support the re-election.
Do you have plans to join the CDC?
Well, currently I've had no plan to join political party. My concentration is on the president re-election and my re-election.
So if you are planning to, support the re-election of the president, then why don't you do so by, joining the CDC that the president
I went through a lot of hollows.
Can you speak to the mic? You're too far from
TETEE, I went through a lot of hollows with political party.
Okay.
And I think currently what I can do, I don't need to be in the CDC to support the president. Like I'm doing in my county currently, working for him across the county. Since I pledged support to the president, I've never met him physically, but he hear what I'm doing. And I need TETEE. I just feel he needs to be re-elected.
Why do you think he should be re-elected?
A lot, it should be given a chance, a second chance. Today we look around, people will say, oh, the government, the government is corrupt, but the government is kleptocracy. But today I was telling somebody one day, I said, even in the home, we have kleptocracy there. Everywhere. If we were to calendarize some of the activities of past government and today's government, I would say to you, it's better he goes back there to continue. All would not be rosy. Even our district, all that we're doing there, people still say we're not doing anything, right? For me, it's a different game with political party. I don't need to join the CDC to support the president re-election.
So
the largest that I've received in the Liberty Party, with all that I served, what I went through, time for me to serve too, and I was not given a chance. I just think I should stay as independent as I am and work with people who I think are doing well too, or who have the mind to make some changes. Work with them to achieve the goal of the Liberian people.
You left the Liberty Party? You resigned from the party, or what?
Yes, I left the Liberty Party and contested as independent. Okay. Since that time, I've never been to any of their meetings. I used to be executive committee member, and I served the executive committee diligently, and I left. Since then, I enjoyed my independent life until in recent time, I publicly declared.
What did you do with your 30,000?
30,000. Currently, I'm building a youth center, somewhere they call St. John. That is worth around 60-some more thousand.
Who asked you to build a youth center? The youth are engaged me. Okay.
Out of more than that 30,000, I declare now to build 24 community. My district has a city now. Somewhere they call WICENT. WICENT is a city just next door to LAC. Okay. I declared to build 24 Palava hut in 24 communities. So we had 24 communities. When I was having my engagement, everybody, one Palava. So I'm building 24 Palava hut in the 24 community. If you were to
started doing that?
Yes, we started already engaging to this morning. I was just speaking to them. Some of them identifying a spot already. I was speaking to a few of the community leaders to start identifying a place, because I'm not going to pay for spot. So the community themselves need to identify where we will build that identical Palava. Besides that, there is a school in Jacob Miller Town, somebody called Jacob Miller Town. We asked MNG go one time to help her. Since they left there, and I have to continue on that. All of the projects that I'm naming and opening some roads again, if you were to calculate, TETEE is over 200,000. That low is currently on my head. Yeah. So that is why in my district, my people are not asking me 30,000 questions, sir. Because they were not asking TETEE. I come in TETEE. Even if you were to watch, people who will say, 30,000, 1 or 2 person call me and I explain. Right? Even on the radio, the district radio, teacher school fee alone, teacher salaries alone, I pay 100,000 LD every month. Not less than 100,000 LD every month. to the other legendary school teachers. Currently, the health worker at the hospital, they are paying full security. Just yesterday, they called me for the salary. Okay. I become health minister. I have to help. I have to protect the hospital out there on the civil compound.
Yeah.
The hospital security, full security, I'm paying. Maybe if the district health officer is listening, he can call to attest to that.
Okay, that's good.
Pay full security every month. Besides that, I have to look at other teachers who are volunteer teachers. Do I have to pay teachers?
No, you don't.
I don't have to pay teachers. I have to pay for security. Am I the health minister? No, I'm not health minister to pay for security. So I do it to protect the drugs and equipment at the hospital. If we don't do it, once they see those things, the nursing is, oh, Lord, make on ready. Holy Lord, make on ready. Holy Lord, make on zero.
Okay, I know.
So all of these things.
I'm thankful to you concerning that. But let me bring you to this thing that happened in your district recently. And you made the news yesterday, and hearing from our correspondent that 15 persons have been arrested in that district. What is it more that you think should come out of this? I hear you calling for the police people in that place to be replaced. What are you sensing?
TETEE, let me tell you, I felt so discouraged when I got on the ground. Discouraged in the sense that the police, I think it's a CSD, the CSD guy who went, CSD guy who went on the scene did not do well. Everything that happened in our district, I blame him. He created the situation.
How?
Like I was listening to your news, and one of the reporters from BASSA was talking about the 15-man jury. They established it. There's another CSD lady on the ground, and the other guy, they started the investigation. The police on the ground started the investigation. If you get on the ground and you know that this 15-man jury that you established is part of the criminal procedure, give them a chance. Firstly, anyone would think when you get on the ground, you want to ask this question. Have people looked at the body? Have they checked? Is there a report? Call for the report and look at it. If indeed they say there's a foul play, in my mind, you forward for expert. At the Ministry of Justice, the pathologist will come and look at it. But for you to stand in the midst of the people and start to demand burial, that prompted the action. Besides that, he didn't stop there. The CSD guy started to release the body. Yeah. He didn't stop there.
Was it demanding burial, or the father of the child was demanding
the father of the child spoke to him for burial. Why I'm saying demanding, because there was a document prepared by him.
Okay.
And he asked the youth leader. This is how the situation started. He asked the youth leader to sign. He placed the youth leader kneeling there with all his consent. He said the fellow should sign. So the fellow said he's not signing according to him. When by that time they were already preparing to release the body, it was how he got Osa. The youth leader got Osa and ran to the young people and said, oh, they are going to bury. The CSD guy said they should bury. He put my knee on the document to sign. And I said no. That's how the tension started. So TETEE, he did not manage the situation. He did not manage it. Even there was no arrest made on the scene. You got on the scene, the place where the little boy allegedly hanged himself. It's just a faux pas, 2 horses. You can't even 2 persons cannot pass between the 2 horses. In my mind, if such thing happen, if somebody hang themselves, there will be little struggle, right? There will be little thing that will happen. People next door.
Was there any mark on the body?
No, I did not see. Okay. By the time they have taken the body to the funeral home already, when I got there. But people who went there, and besides that, the 15-man jury, there are nurses. That's the interesting part about it. 5 nurses, according to what I heard, was on the scene. 5 nurses.
What are you suspecting?
For me, from all of the explanation and some of the jurors I spoke to, I agree with them. I want to concur with them that there's a foul play. If you see the neck of the child on the picture, according to the nurses, I'm giving the nurses account. Because they are nurses. They studied human body. They said the neck was broken. They observed that there was serine mark on the child, the back legs of the child. Some of them explained that the annals were being tampered with. And that is why I'm calling the police for more forensic investigation. Currently, there's another information that coming out that people want to speak on. All they need is protection.
Where is the father of this child? Where are the parents?
The parent has interacted with the father in Buchanan day before yesterday. He's in Buchanan, and I have not seen the mother. I heard that the mother isn't too well, but I spoke with the father. Was
the father on the scene when the boy allegedly hanged himself?
According to information, no, they did not see him, but after the situation occurred, he came later.
But was the child in the home by himself?
Yes. He, and not by himself totally, he and 2 other sisters, according to them. a 24 years old girl, and I think the other one should be 14 years old. But there's
spoken?
also a little girl that the superintendent and I protected, and she's currently on unprotected custody.
Okay.
That little girl is explaining how they entered the house. She and the deceased.
Oh, wow.
She went in the room with the deceased. I think they said the deceased, she's the girlfriend to the deceased. She explained.
A 15-year-old boy
15
with a
girlfriend. So
what is happening in your district?
So I'm still confused, because for the little girl to be explaining what happened.
How old is she?
I did not really ask her, but I think she around the same age too, maybe 15, 16, around the same age.
So she was there when her boyfriend was murdered.
No, she's entered the play with him.
Okay.
According to her, they entered the room in the night. Well, they came from 26 night, 26 night, a lot of people hanging up. Yeah. So they both came from out together and entered the room. She said when they entered the room, after a few minutes, someone flashed torchlight in the room. And then the person said, "Who's that?" Then the deceased said, "That me Pro." So the person said, "Who you call Pro?" She said, "Oh," then he said, "I me Pro." Then the person said, "Oh, okay." Then he cut the light on, he switched the light on. Then the guy said, she told him, say, "Oh, the people look at her man." And he told the deceased, say, "Shut up. These people can understand English. They always in the house there, they can understand English. Shut up." But according to her, she said she was never happy still. So she decided to sneak out of the house, out of the room. In getting out of the room, she saw somebody to the door. She saw a man standing to the door. The man ran behind her. She got some scraping mark on her hand. Oh, wow. She said she fell when she woke up. She saw another person in front. They thought she was going straight. But then she came by the same direction she came from. And that's how she left.
So apparently she would have been killed.
She would have been killed. But she said she was never satisfied. Her conscience could not set her free, because the way the guys were looking at her. She said she was not satisfied. Right? So there's a whole explanation. Currently, I'm receiving some intelligence from the ground and sending it to the police to do their own fact finding. People been calling me.
Is the father in police custody?
He was the police, but they're not seeing him on custody, but he was at the police station. He's at the police station. And
how far do you think this is going to go?
Well, basically, I'm calling the entire government, like I'm still doing, to get involved, because we don't want the reoccurrence of such. This is very important that we get to the bottom part here. I've asked the police, the superintendent, I let us say thanks to him. He's been with me from the beginning to where we are today. I was just speaking to him in the morning again. When they sent me some of the information, I share with him, and then he shared with the police too.
Is this something that usually happens in your district?
Not usually. I know that around right immediately after the election, at the time they still had the Unity Party versus the Liberty Party, Unity Party versus NEC case. Around that time, similar situation occurred. I think it was around 13 years old child. I think it was a 13 years old child. But after I'm not taking over, so I could not get involved. They were still in court. The former representative was still in power at that time. They are now inauguration, election dispute were going on and so forth.
Okay, so how involved do you think you will be with this one?
This one I'm totally involved, and I'm being clear with you. Some of the people arrested, they are not arrested on account of the deceit. They are arrested on account of destruction. Because they burned the vehicle of the deceased father. Some of them stoned at the residence, so the violent, some of them, the violent protest.
But you're calling for more arrests?
I'm calling for more, because people who are involved today, I'm concerned about people who in a house.
Okay.
They must give account.
Where are the two Ghanaians that we hear?
3 Ghanaians, according to the information, there are 3 Ghanaians. They were seen on the spot. They were not arrested. That is why I'm saying the police did not do well. They were not arrested. Currently, there's a Ghanaian guy that really, really I think we need. It's a guy called Kweku. It's the guy who is, according to the story, allegedly going out with a 24-year-old girl. He slept in the house. So he may have more information. That is that guy now we're looking for. I think he also worked for the father. Got the father into small businesses. So if we can have the Ghanaian and we can freely speak to the lady, the 24-year-old girl, provide some security for her, I think she can speak up more.
Why
because
do you
today I still feel
the officer is handling the case the way he is? Do you think he allegedly received something for doing
today
that?
I don't want to accuse him, but Liberia is what it is. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, because the way I wish you were running with the whole burial case, TETEE, something features about it.
What's the body now?
Because the body is at the funeral home, and I was in Monrovia that very day on my way when they called me to speak to them, to give them authority to bury the body. I told them no. They were asking me on the phone at the police headquarters for me to speak for them to release the body. I told them no.
Have you spoken with the police authorities?
I spoke with the RG.
Okay.
He had also promised me, because I told him that the Grand BASSA investigator should not do the investigation because he's the one that tried to tamper with it.
Okay.
Imagine to understand that when the superintendent and I were at the police station, his boss, the regional commander, one Allison, the guy was at the station and he could not even show us his boss. He could not introduce his boss.
He took control of the whole situation.
He took control and his boss was on the scene. We did not know the boss. I don't know the regional commander, one Allison. I don't know him. But the guy was on the scene. If you think he had respect, what you should have done was to say, oh, Soup or Honorable, yes, the regional commander, the regional CSD commander. Then we will have had some conversation. It was lately before I interacted with the regional commander, who has also promised me to get involved with the matter. He coming to Monrovia. He should have been here yesterday with the entire report, the jury report and so forth, for them to start the investigation again. So he promised me, the RG promised me. I also spoke to the Justice Minister. I called him consistently. Later on, he returned the call. We spoke briefly. He promised to have called back here now. This morning, I'm going to make a formal, since we are back, I'm going to inform plenary as to the happening in my district and calling them to ask the RG and the police, the RG and the Justice Minister to get involved. Because it's a serious situation.
Okay, so you're going to get plenary involved.
Oh, yes, I'm going to get plenary involved now.
Okay. Representative VICENT WILLIE is the representative of District Number 4 in Grand Bassa County. He also chairs the caucus of that county. Call us on 077-864-1549 and you'll be live on the Super Morning Show. Good morning. Morning. It's good to hear you. 30 seconds, please. We don't have much time.